Now, Somalia, which is one of the 6 affected countries on the list, is considered a friend of the United States, especially on the military front. The country has been collaborating with the U.S. in the fight against terrorism. Beyond security matters, the relationship between the two countries has gradually been warming. There have been mixed reactions within Somalia on the impact of the ban.
We welcome the decision of the United States Supreme Court about the travel ban. There are many Somalis in the USA and their families have been waiting for their sponsors. And this decision will give them an opportunity to rejoin.
In my view, I am against the decision of the Supreme Court. I don't want my people to go to the United States. The era of a good life and opportunities in the US has ended. It is a time of discrimination against African people and Muslims. Therefore, I don't welcome that decision since our people will get no opportunities there.
Somalia was among the countries affected by the travel ban. This decision of the US Supreme Court will relieve the pain of Somalis and will allow them to go there. I welcome it and I want the ban to be lifted fully.
Well, to discuss more on this now, I'm joined by political analyst Mohammed Ahmed Wali Mahamoud in Mogadishu, Somalia, and our reporter Giles Gibson from Washington. Giles, what's the scope of the ban as allowed by the U.S. Supreme Court?
Well, under the terms of this decision that's been announced by the U.S. Supreme Court, the ban applies to people from these 6 Muslim-majority countries like Somalia who can't prove these strong ties, these so-called bona fide ties to the U.S. So under the terms of the ruling, it is expected that people who perhaps have a job offer in the United States or perhaps have a place at university to study in the autumn, they are expected to be allowed in under the current terms, under the revised term of this travel ban. In terms of when it comes into effect, well, the ruling said that it would be 72 hours after the decision had been made by the US Supreme Court. So that places the decision, the revised ban coming into effect sometime on Thursday morning local time here on the east coast of the United States. And then the court will hear oral arguments in October and then rule on the overall validity of the ban in the months after they hear those opening arguments.
Well, Ahmed, in Mogadishu, though, there are concerns from all the 6 countries affected here. What are the key concerns among Somalis following this move by the Supreme Court?
Thank you for having me. There is a lot of concern in Somalia and neighboring countries, those who host the Somali refugees for a long time. So the concern is there is thousands of Somali refugees, those who live in Nairobi or Dadaab camps in Somalia, those who are looking for one day to escape from the danger to live in the United States of America. So really this is created a great confusion or big confusion among the Somalis, and also this is really means to Somali refugees who are hoping one day to live in America, that really they see this is a pain about the court ruling, which supported some parties of Donald Trump ban. So there is a lot of confusion in Somalia. The people, they are looking closely what's going on in America and what is UN court is making these days. So really this is a great concern. Also many Somalis believe this limited ban, because many Somalis refugees, those who live now in Kenya and other countries in our neighborhood, that they will try to go to put their danger, to put their life in danger and travel to Europe because they have no other option.
Right. Giles, to you though, that past reports have indicated that up to 5,000 Somalis in the U.S. now face deportation orders. Would you expect those deportations to be executed now?
Well, that's right. Back in April time, we heard there was reports that up to 5,000 Somalis could be facing deportation from the United States. At that time in April, a spokesperson from the U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement Agency, they're known as ICE, he confirmed that nearly 5,000 Somalis had final orders of removal subject to them from the US. But really this ruling by the Supreme Court about the travel ban applies to people from these 6 Muslim majority countries, including Somalia, who are now trying to gain entry into the country rather than those who are already in the country. So it seems that this decision by the Supreme Court is simply about people proving those strong ties when they're trying to come into the country when the ban comes into effect, the revised ban on Thursday morning local time, rather than those reported 5,000 cases, which it seems will be dealt with by ICE on a case-by-case basis, as they usually do by the US authorities.
Well, Ahmed, Somalia has been rebuilding its diplomatic relations with the United States. So how is this latest development expected to impact the relations between the two countries?
Well, many Somalis and politicians believe this has nothing to do with Somali-American relations, because we see a close relationship between the Trump administration and Farmajo administration in Somalia. And also we see the Somalis, they welcome American decisions, because there is a lot of Somalis who live in America that are getting back to the home to rebuild. We see refugees who are coming from the Kenya and coming to the country to participate in the rebuilding of the country. So Somalis, they see this is a preferred thing, because this is about the American security, and they consider Americans because they have Americans as those who decide to host the Somalis or not. But Somali-American relations, they just established, as you know, 2014 American Foreign Secretary, former Foreign Secretary John Kerry visited Mogadishu and Camilla. And also 2014, American, they appointed Somalia, the first ambassador to Somalia since 1981 to Camp Somalia. And now we hope that the United States will establish this embassy in Somalia at the end of this year. So this is nothing to do with Somali-American relations, because we see there is an American force in Somalia now. We see CIA based in Mogadishu airport. We see American advisors and trainers in Somalia. We see a lot of cooperation between the Somali government and America. I talked to Somali ambassadors, the American ambassador to Somalia, David Schwartz, we met before the 1 week, and he said there is a good relation between the Somali president, right, Farmajo, and Trump, because they were elected the same year. And they have a good relationship. So this will not affect the relationship between Somalia and America.
Right. Ahmed Weli Mahamoudi in Mogadishu and Giles Gibson joining us from Washington. To you both, thank you.